It's hot. And it's 10 o'clock in the morning. And it's already this hot. Anyway, I have been thinking about the platform, I guess, or the format. I'm sorry, the format of how I was doing this little project, and it wasn't really sitting well with me because I noticed that I was looking for. I wasn't necessarily waiting for opportunities to use my practices to get through things as much as I was looking for them, if that makes any sense. So, for example, like I was at the grocery store yesterday, and I think a lady held the door open for me or something, and I said thank you, and she didn't say you're welcome, which, holy crap, small potatoes, who cares? But I was like, she didn't say you're welcome. Oh, that upset me, and now I have an opportunity to use my procedure so that I can, contribute to this project. And the more I did that, the more I noticed that the adversary was fueling those bad feelings towards people that really I didn't need to have bad feelings towards. And so I felt really inspired to change my the format of this. So sorry, I'm trying to keep all my thoughts in order. Anyway, so I called Cameron and I told him that I wanted to change how I was doing this, and he's like, well, that's how I thought you were gonna do it from the beginning. And so I was like, oh, okay, well, I guess now I'm on the bandwagon for my own idea. So what my idea is, what I want to do now is, instead of waiting for opportunities or waiting for times when I have episodes, I'm going to just share with you what I do to prevent things like that from happening. Because to be honest, I don't really have a lot of episodes so much anymore, because I have so many resources and so many things that I can do to combat those, like getting on that train and going down that downward spiral. So earlier you heard me mention about the adversary. I wanted to mention that because the very first thing, the most important resource I have in dealing with these episodes is my relationship with my Heavenly Father, and partaking of the atonement and leaning on Jesus Christ as my advocate, as someone who has been through exactly what I feel, so that I can get through these things. If knowing this about me alienates any of you, then I feel really bad that it's gone that way. But I do not apologize for my relationship with Heavenly Father. As a matter of fact, I boast of my God. I'm not ashamed of my relationship with Him. And if you do not have a relationship with God, that's cool. That's you. That's totally fine. I do, however, encourage you to find a relationship with some kind of higher being, just because it helps you forgive yourself a little bit when you're having those horrible moments where you just feel like you're not good enough, and the world is out to get you, and all those horrible things. If you look into the 12 steps, one of the first things they teach you is, or help you understand, is that you have to yield yourself to a higher being. I've actually been through the 12 steps because I was really struggling, and I went to my bishop, and he recommended that I go through the 12 steps because what I was exhibiting were classic signs of addiction, which I thought was strange. But he noticed that I was actually addicted to that those feelings, that I was comfortable in that depression, that horrible state. So I went through the 12 steps, and it was actually really, really helpful. So you'll notice that throughout these installments that I do mention Heavenly Father, Jesus Christ, and contrarily the adversary, because I have a really super strong relationship with my Heavenly Father, but I actually am incredibly sensitive to the adversary. Okay, that is actually really hard for me to let the world know at large, because it's hard, I don't know, it's hard to let people know that you're sensitive to those things, or that you can feel those things, because a lot of people don't believe it's real at all. But I think it's important to understand that there's two sides of that coin, that if you believe in God, then you by extension kind of have to believe in the opposite of that. I am not here to convert you. I'm not here to even, change your belief system or anything. I'm just letting you know that this is what has helped me. So if you're struggling in that department, this is a really great way to possibly help you take that first step into healing. Like I said, it was really hard for me to share that in, at large, but if you've ever read the parable of the talents, then you'll understand. If you haven't read that parable, then look it up and please read it, because that's kind of how I model my life. One of the ways that I model my life, but kind of in a brief explanation. Heavenly Father gives us gifts, and this is told through a parable, but it's not, when he gives you something that you can use to help people, help yourself, whatever, he doesn't want you to keep that a secret. He doesn't want you to hide that gift, because it can be useful, it can help, whatever. At least that's what I gleaned from that parable. So that's kind of how I model my life, and I've been getting more and more used to sharing that about me, because if I can help somebody, I would love to. There have been several times when that feeling has protected me and has spoken to me, both in the good and the evil sense. It has helped me. It's just protected me. So that's kind of the first thing that I wanted to mention in regard to what I use to heal, is prayer and yielding myself to my higher power, which in my case is my Heavenly Father. So many of you know that my husband is like the person in my life. He's the most amazing, wonderful, perfect person I've ever met in my whole life, and I don't know what I would do without him. But heaven forbid, if I were to ever lose him in any regard, I would still have that relationship with my Heavenly Father. So I'm not putting my faith in people. I'm putting it in my Heavenly Father. So that's what my first and most important resource is for healing. So what I'm going to do is kind of write down all of the things that I use to help me get through all of these little episodes that I have, and then each installment will be something that I do, or something that's been helpful, so that maybe I can help somebody out there. If I just reach out to one person that can get something from this, then I will have accomplished what I've set out to accomplish. Now, throughout this, there may be times when I have episodes and I'll be able to show you what happens what happened in my mind and what I had to kind of go through. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and gather all of that, and we'll move on in that format. Anyway, so yeah, my daughter's in dance, and I'm just gonna sit here and wait for her in my hot car and jam out to my music. So have a great day. Thanks.